And tell us who your significant other is. That's mostly for my benefit, so I can see who goes with who. How you know Wendy and Scott, and what type of cook you are in the kitchen. So are you a Betty Crocker? You know, she follows a box, just follows the recipe as written. Martha Stewart, maybe you're a little more creative, or Bobby Flay, you're really great in the kitchen. Wendy, you spend a lot of time in the drive-thru, not Wendy Satchel, just Wendy as in...
Wendy's
What was Wendy's dad's name?
Dave Thomas.
Dave Thomas, there you go. Or an OPF. You like to eat other people's food. So,
Ron Mason, my significant other is Lisa, and I'm definitely an OPF. Except for cookies.
Oh,
That's
all right.
Out of a box.
Okay. And how do you know Wendy and Scott, Ron?
I'm married into the family. My wife is Scott's sister.
Okay.
But I try not to advertise.
We don't tell people that.
We don't tell
Oh, I'm sorry, you're Scott. He was standing
Tom Amon, we know Scott and Wendy from living on this neighborhood, and then Rebecca and Wendy do the Verdana Field stuff together. And I do some grilling and some minor cooking in the kitchen.
Jim Breakdeal. My significant other is Shelley.
Shelley, Jim has dirty hands. Just so
I'm sorry, my significant other is Rebecca. Over there.
Yeah, my food these days consists mostly of not other people's, but mostly Shelley's cooking. So, and then yeah, some grilling in the summertime. So, met Wendy, high school, Menchville, and Scott at Water Country. We took a long time.
All right, let's, are you Shelley? No, this
I'm
is
Lisa.
Shelley. Lisa.
Yes.
Okay, Lisa, what kind of cook are you in the kitchen?
I'm probably the one that likes the other people's food, but I can cook fair.
You've done great lately.
Thank you.
Last year or two.
Yes.
So that's
My interest
last
in
10
cooking
years,
has
you've done
increased over the recent time.
she's a teacher. All right.
And of course, we have to remember where I'm starting from, too. Yes.
I'm Rebecca Amon. My husband is Tom. Okay, progressing through the week, I'd say Sundays and Mondays, I have the interest and energy to be a little more Martha Stewart-y. I degenerate into Betty Crocker and then maybe drive through by the end of the week.
Or I'm cooking by the end of the
Or
week.
yes, that sounds good.
All right, I'm Steve Cook, and this is my significant other, Jennifer.
That's a great name for tonight.
The cooks are here! Yay!
Don't get your hopes up.
And we know the Satchels. For me, I guess I know them. I've gotten to know them better through the swim team, and then our daughters are playing some sports together outside of the swimming as well. So, even though we went to the same schools
And Water Country.
and Water Country, worked at Water
Always
Country.
exact Water Country.
I was the old man on the block there, though. So, and my cooking, I don't know. I enjoy cooking, so I like to do all kinds of things, and I experiment.
Okay.
I'm Jennifer, and I don't have the time for the creativity, it seems, so I like to follow the recipe exactly the way it is, or use a box.
And you make lots of soups.
Yes, you do lots, or I have them so it works.
I'm Phil Clinic, and my better half is in heaven, and I'm related to Wendy. She's my daughter. So,
And my 16-year-old, who at the time was 3, taught him how to make a grilled cheese. He could put men on the moon, but my 3-year-old had to teach him how to make a grilled cheese.
I'm
But
learning
he's
to
come a
cook.
long way since then.
Yeah, he's doing great.
He's doing great.
Awesome. I'm Shelley Brightfield. We're happy we're there. I love to cook. I love it.
That's why she has black beans.
Yeah, yeah. My kids make full of a variety of things. I find it very relaxing, oddly enough. But as crazy as we are, I'm a teacher, so we all know that. I'm sort of a cross between Rachel right now, 30-minute meals, but still creative when I can be. And when I have the time to cook, I cook pretty elaborately. So awesome. There's that.
My name is Bonny Wiggins, and I met Wendy sometime before we met at Melissa Williams' Pampered Chef Show just recently, but neither one of us know exactly where we met. So she knows my husband. They were friends way back in high school, like just 10 years ago. So exactly. Who's been to a Pampered Chef Show before?
Years ago.
Long time. Years. Okay, all the ladies.
Scott, put your
None
hand
of
up.
them.
But did you hear how many books there
I beat
I
you.
know. Yeah, so what's that all about? The men are cooking, but the ladies are the ones going to the show.
I was never invited.
Never invited, says Jim with the dirty hands. Okay. Never invited. So
Gotta be quiet in this room.
You might as well just go watch them now.
Exactly.
I'm just teasing you, Jim. I'm just razzing you.
We're not.
You're gonna wash your hands. You are washing your hands, pal.
Conversation tonight, Marion.
Right, Shelley, I too was a teacher way back when. I taught for 10 years special education, but when my son was born 16 months after my daughter as a surprise, we real quickly decided that I needed to do something else. This business of working 40 plus hours a week and coming home to your own two very young children and having no time and energy to give them because you've given it to everybody else's children, it wasn't working for us. So I started selling Pampered Chef 11 years ago. Absolutely love what I do, and I'll tell you all a little bit more about that later, but just wanted to share that little bit of information before we get started. Behind Jim, we have 2 stations set up. We're doing what's called a 1, 2, 3 dinner show this evening. So what we're going to do is we're going to split up into groups of 3, and we're going to make chicken fajitas, a fresh salsa, and a chocolate molten lava cake.
Wow.
All right, does anyone have our deep covered baker, this cranberry stone here on Wendy and Scott's Island? Nobody has that dish. The formal, thank you, Wendy, the formal name for that is called the deep covered baker, but it's also known as the magic pot. And the reason we call it the magic pot is it kind of replaces our crock pot or our power cooking. Do you all remember the days of power cooking where you would spend all day on a Saturday or a Sunday chopping, dicing, slicing, and you'd put meals in the freezer to use later? Did any of you all go through that phase? We don't have to do this craziness anymore because we can prepare a 30-minute main dish meal using the deep covered baker. What does chicken taste like that's been cooked in the microwave?
Rubbery.
Rubbery, right. Tonight we're going to prepare our chicken in the deep covered baker, and it's not going to taste like rubber. And the reason being is when we put the deep covered baker in the microwave, it works like a brick oven. The stone gets hot, and the stone is actually what cooks the chicken. It's not the microwaves per se. And so, especially if you have the lid on, when the chicken is cooking, it's creating steam and it's marinating that chicken, basting it the entire cooking time, if you will. So, very juicy, not rubbery. You all will see that here shortly. We're also going to use our manual food processor. That's this tool right here. We're going to make a fresh salsa. You can also use that for tapenades, guacamole, and it's just a hand pump mechanism, so no electricity needed. And then we're going to use the deep covered baker again for the chocolate molten lava cake. Super easy. When we get the dishes almost complete, then we're going to come back here and do like 10 minutes worth of commercial, and then we're going to eat. Okay? Sound okay? All right. Who was my rule? I had somebody that liked to follow a recipe. Jennifer.
Thank you.
Jennifer, I want to definitely put you with, and you also don't like to cook or don't have time to cook.
Well, yeah.
Don't have time to cook. So Jennifer, I want you on that end of the island working with the chicken fajitas. Yes, ma'am. And who? Let's see. Dad is starting. Dad, I want you to work with Jennifer because I want you to see how easy this is. Okay. Jimmy, is that Jim or Jimmy?
You can call me Jimmy tonight.
Since you have dirty hands, I will let you go wherever you want to go.
You're going to go to the nasty
Dirty hands, Jimmy.
I'll be Jimmy for you tonight.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. Shelly, how about the chocolate molten lava? Okay. Are you all together?
We are.
Okay. You all want to work on the fresh salsa for me? All right. All right. Everybody else, Ron?
Yes.
Dive in, wherever you want to go. Shelly needs help with the chocolate malt lava cake. I've got 2 here. Lisa?
Why didn't you have to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my sister does great cleanup work. I don't know.
You know what? Lisa, don't fret. I do my own cleanup work. You're at a party. You're supposed to enjoy yourself tonight. All right, folks. So follow the recipe, but I am going to show you how to cut it.
Hey, you want to get this on film?
I cut an onion. It may not be how you cut an onion.
All right.
Hey guys,
Happy to learn new
for the record, you guys see this? I'm going to
Singing happy birthday.
Has 2 different ends, okay? And this end to me always looks like over-processed hair, so we're going to leave that end alone.
That's one that makes everybody.
That's the one that makes you cry because that's where all the enzymes are found. So the more you break those down, the more you cry. So leave that intact.
You know, I'm going to go to anywhere, so I'm just
And
going
then we're going
to
to cut it in quarters.
like hover around you
And the
guys.
reason that you do this is so that you can take it off and pour easy sections. In theory, if it's really brittle, then you're still going to wrestle with it a little bit. So we're just going to cut these quarters in a little bit smaller pieces and put it in the manual food processor.
Everybody needs
The only thing that I will caution you is we don't want to fill that more than about half full
Actually, stone?
at a time. So once you get it half full, then dump it in here and then keep on going. Okay?
Yes, I heard like some of the potatoes are.
Yeah, I started that because I didn't want to add all the seeds.
20 years old.
The tomato and also.
Are we gonna do this? It is a.
You know what? Let's wait and let's see what it looks like when we get this and the beans and the cilantro and the jalapenos and see where we are. So I'm gonna let you use that knife and cut those into smaller sections and then pop that in.
And you leave the center because of why again?
Because that's where the
You guys
enzymes
didn't
are
get a
found
sign,
to make
huh?
you cry. So the more you break that end down, the more you're gonna cry.
I'm going to just be a hoverer.
Well, and you know it's round, so you always want to create a flat base first. Create your flat base, and then you. But because you're throwing it in here, I would just chop off those quarters and throw it in. All right, my girls over here sitting still. This is my main dish. What we got going on here, ladies?
Where's Lily?
Good job.
All right, folks.
Where's it yet again?
There's your
I'm gonna watch you
I'm doing my job. That's
The
right.
meat too.
This is look at that. All right.
Go for it. Yeah. I like that.
Pretending that I'm at the soccer field today, like those 2 ladies that threw down on the ground.
Trivia for you guys. There'll be a prize later. See these peppers?
Really?
3 humps, 4 humps. Anybody want to guess who's male and who's female?
Oh, who knew?
Wait a minute. We're gonna have a chance to be
Going for
Male. Male.
Y'all are so wrong. That's the female. The female has more humps. Okay? Pretty interesting, right?
I didn't know there was.
That's only important when you're buying by weight because the females also have more seeds, so they're heavier. And you don't really want the seeds. You don't really want to pay for the seeds. So buy the male. Buy the 3 humps. All right, that's good, Jennifer. Okay, so next what we're going to do is cut our peppers. Leave that there. Pepper is to cut the humps off because then your seeds are left behind. And what you're going to do, Jennifer, is just throw those in the deep-covered baker.
Here, I'll help you. Watch.
That's better than the one that you got to go.
Just easy, right? And if you let the handle go all the way up, then you'll get more blade action.
Do I need to cut these at all?
No, just throw them in.
Yeah.
That's enough for now.